many of us agree we're sitting in a room with the sexiest man alive? That's the vibe.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so for purposes of the guys in the room wanting that accolade, let me ask this question for you to start the conversation. At what age did you decide to be the sexiest man alive? Just to be sure some people are not off the count.
No, man, don't embarrass me now. No. Come on, man. What can I say? I'm 52 now.
Come on, just appreciate him a bit more. 52 and fine.
I'll take it.
Okay, so just to get straight into the conversation, the continent is said to be the youngest. Europe is about 44 years in median age. We know North America is about 35. We know Asia is about 31 years. We know South America is about 31 years. Africa's median age is about 18, which means 1 out of every 2 African is less than 18 years. We're told that the continent will double its population by 2050. What does that mean for opportunity from where you said in terms of the creative art industry for what our future is likely to look like?
It's the most wanted opportunity in the world. If nations in the UK or in Europe or in the Americas could have a median age of 18 years old, do you understand that the longevity is doubled? But what you're seeing is Africa's longevity is tripled if the median age is 18 years old. So what does that mean? For a business like the film industry, which is perhaps 80 years old in our continent, 80 to 100 years old, it means that we have the most growth potential in this industry. It means that the investments that we put into this industry now, whether it's cinema or technology, in 10 years' time, the average viewer of our films will be 28 years old.
Absolutely.
And at that junction, they'll be making money for themselves and they'll be able to afford to watch those stories. So, you know, you did the maths, all right? It becomes such an incredible opportunity for the continent. But not only that, it's a massive driver for employment. It's a massive fiscal driver. And ultimately, culturally, young people, you know, when they look at social media, you know, I come from an era where, you know, we didn't have Afrobeats. We didn't have African superstars the way that we have now, okay? The ones that we had were like very sporadic. And oftentimes, they were a little bit of a dilution of the original. So you had African records that were made in Europe. They didn't come from the motherland. They didn't come from its roots. But now you're seeing young artists like Nigerian artists like Stone Boy. These young people in Africa are superstars, global superstars. So the generation that they appeal to, what do you think they're going to see in 10 years? What do you think they want to see in 10 years? They want to see that progression. They want to see their own, right? So that's why it's such a massive opportunity for us.
Right, but it remains a potential. How do we really translate that potential into a reality? Africa, we've always said, has had potential. From your travels, from your work, you do the best of films. Is our quality, is our capacity, is our training, would it cut for the potential? Or do we need to do more?
Okay, so, I mean, to answer the first part of that question, so this room is exactly what we should be doing, okay? When you say African Cinema Summit, okay, the room is packed, okay? That shows you what we should be doing. In fact, everybody give yourselves a round of applause. Because however you saw the advert for this summit, however that happened, that is progress. The fact that you took the next step to put your email down, take the newsletter, to be here today, that is progress, okay? This is the second annual summit, okay?
Absolutely.
So you understand, like, there's more people here than there was last year.
Yes.
And equally, there's going to be more progress from the next year, okay? So I say that to say that this is a room of sharing and learning. That's what we need to do to progress, okay? Before we think about international markets, before we think about, you know, should I compare our industry to an international market? What about our own market first? Okay? When we're successful amongst ourselves, that's when we'll be viewed as successful out there. Point and blank. There's no way that we are not successful in our home ground. Thank you. And then successful in wherever we consider the international market. It's really important to the international market that we support our own. That's how it works. When you see domestic and international sales, the domestic is massively important. You see that in America. They value that domestic number so that they can demand more respect internationally. So that's how it should work, right?
Right.
So for us to progress, we need to make sure that we are completely fulfilling our own success radar, not the success radar of something that is unattainable for now. We have to make the best experience, the best movies, the best content, the best learning and sharing at home first. That's really important.
Thank you. And in that light, let's appreciate the organizers of this fantastic event. They've done it 2 times in a row. We appreciate you for doing this. Thank you for doing this. Now, talking about the market and succeeding at home, we know the market, except for a few, are small and the incomes are lower. So we actually have to find a way of consolidating the market. You have a lion and a star on your hand, your Sierra Leone and Ghanaian heritage. But you cut across. You've indicated publicly your DNA spreads across. How do we really consolidate this market that is so dispersed and so low in income that unless we find a way in consolidating, probably that dream may not happen?
It's a great question. I mean, I think it's down to a few different parameters, okay? You know, marketing, I was speaking to Moses from Nile Group, the fantastic group. Marketing is essential, okay? Now, in America or in Europe, billboards the size of a house is a big, important marketing tool, okay? It's successful. They've proven it. When they put posters on the side of a bus, that is successful. But for us, in our culture, in our smaller nucleuses, we have to adopt marketing techniques that are much more suited and impactful to us. We can't keep trying to do the same. So marketing is a massive importance. I think that relatability in the stories is important. So we want to see an action film, that's great. But if we want to see an action film that is compared to an American film, we don't have the budget. We don't have the same resources. So let's not try to make a bad version of that. Let's make something that actually let's make something that's more relatable to our scale of existence. You know? If it's an action film in a village, it doesn't need explosions exactly. It might still need a chase. It might need a fight. It might need the gossip or whatever. But let's do it to our particular experience so we understand it. When we compare ourselves to international filmmaking, we're always going to fall short. We're always going to say, why is it not like that? Well, of course it's not. So I think that's one of the key components to us doing well. The other thing is we must support each other's efforts. This is a small community, okay? I don't know the population of Accra, and I don't know the percentage of filmmakers and in that percentage, but I guarantee you that a lot of the representation of the industry is in this room. This is enough for a small wedding. You know, at the wedding now, you got to take your money out and put on the bride or put on the groom, right? We must take that mentality for our own films. We've got to support each other somehow. Now, even if it's a small amount, what we can afford, if that small amount is, let me market my film for my brothers somehow, telling 10 people in my WhatsApp, let me go and watch the film and spend that money. We need to, you know, really reinvest in our own community. Now, these are really small incremental things, but collectively they make our films a lot more, I think, you know, successful for ourselves.
Thank you. Please appreciate that. And it's a key takeaway. If you're a filmmaker here, collaborate, partner, work, network, and share each other's work. That's the only way we grow together. Thank you for saying that. On not doing a bad version of other people's work, let me contextualize it and let me anchor it in Beast of No Nation. How many of us have seen Beast of No Nation? Is that a request for something? Is that a request for something? Have a commander look, huh? All right, sir. What?
No, I'm sweating. It was a long time ago.
He said it's been a long time. Right, but the real question is, if you take that film, absolutely successful. I think we're having a conversation before here. In as much as it is successful, what is the narrative of the African? How does that movie portrays us, as you were pointing out? So the real question is, how do we tell those authentic stories in the way that we can relate to them, but in a way that we tell all the varying stories we have? The happiness, the joy, the inspiration, not only the story of you know, the misery and the pain, and the brokenness we saw in that story. Beautiful and as relatable as it is. There are so many stories. Why haven't we mainstreamed it? Why haven't we seen that film being replicated in all its versions?
I mean, look, I think you said it, all right? You know, the problem about African narratives oftentimes is that it's not always interesting to the West or internationally unless it's trauma related, unless it's something that we, as a continent, as a culture, shouldn't be really proud of. I love Beast of No Nation, but I'm not proud of that character. I'm not proud of that story, no way, okay? And it's a bittersweet pill that was the first movie Netflix made, the first movie, and it was a traumatic story, a traumatic West African story. Although the book was fictional, but it was based on Liberian Civil War, Sierra Leone Civil War, and an amalgamation. And as we all know, that was a very bitter time for us. In fact, the people involved are still carrying the scars of that time. Now, needless to say, the film did really well. People loved that film. When I was walking around, they loved my character. But the truth is, it's a traumatic character for our culture, our people. Why should we always make films like that to be successful? Because it perpetuates a narrative that is already implanted on Africans. That everything is traumatic. Everything has to be bad times. That's the only time that our films become successful or relatable as far as they're concerned. So it's important for me and for us, and to your question, that we have a spectrum, okay? Listen, living in Africa is what it is. For those of you who live on the continent, you know what it is that you're living in, okay? We know what we're doing, but it's our home, it's our culture, okay? Not everything is as traumatic as it seems in the news. But if you watch the films, that's what you would believe. So it's really important that we have a spectrum of our culture. aspiration, futurism, inspiration, trauma, gossip, education. We need the entire gamut. We don't want to just make films that celebrate the dark side of humanity, okay? It's almost like Africa is the only place bad shit happens. That's not the case. That is not the case. So I think to answer your question, we need to show a spectrum. And that film was a very good film, technically.
Yes.
Technically, it's a beautiful film. We need to make films about aspiration, inspiration, in the same technical manner. We need to make them great. That is really important. There was a gentleman here from the school. Where is the young man from the school? Stand up, sir. Thank you for saying what you said. You made it. Thank you for saying what he said. For those of you, yeah. Just to paraphrase what you said that sometimes rather than go to school, we will use our brothers and sisters to help us make a film. And what happens is the standard falls below what is professional, okay? That is an astute observation. It's really important. Even though sometimes it's cheaper for us because we can't afford a professional makeup artist, okay? It will end up degrading our film. It's better that we go to school. It's better that we educate ourselves to raise the standard. As Africans, we are not allowed to make substandard films anymore. We're just not allowed. We have, even on the economics of scale, even on the economics, it's tighter for African filmmakers, but we need to make films that are of a par. The Afrobeats phenomenon. A lot of these producers are making songs on their laptops, okay? It wasn't until those songs were being properly mastered, properly mixed, okay? Afrobeats is not new. The guys have been doing it for a long time. But it wasn't until they properly mastered, properly mixed, proper microphones, proper distribution, that's what we're seeing the Afrobeats being the biggest top pop stars in the world. So it's no different for the film industry. The talent is there, but the technicality needs to raise up. And that's where education is really important. That's where government support, Honorable Minister, government support is really important, that we subsidize the students so they can learn their trade.
Do appreciate that, do appreciate that. Anchoring on what you said, finding the resources and particularly the capacity, because I guess a part of the question is there's a skilled labor. I don't see any filmmaker inclined to that, but assuming that is even true, the real question is, in terms of capacity, you've worked here, do you think the mass of the skill set needs to invest a bit more in their own education and development in terms of the technicality? And how do we find the funding? So in terms of development in capacity, do we need a bit more work in order to produce the quality we must? And where do we find the money to do that?
I mean, look, these days, the democratization of technology allows you to make a film with your phone. You can, if you've got the imagination, if you've got YouTube, you can learn how to shoot, how to mix, how to edit. These days, you can literally shoot and distribute on your phone at a technical level that is better than the films that were made in the 90s. True story. The technology on an iPhone 16 is better than the cameras that made half of the big American films in the 90s, okay? It is about the imagination. It is about how you learn. In my opinion, the best way to learn is just make a film. Just make it. Because you're gonna make mistakes. But there is enough tutorials literally online for free that can teach you how to get better, okay? There are enough free courses. Huh? Where is it? Where is it? It's okay? Brother, you okay? Striker. That's Striker. I'm in his movie now. That's good. I said make a movie. He did it on the spot. But the point I'm trying to say is that we have to use our initiative. Okay, it's not all about money. There are nations that have money, that have film studios, that cannot have the oxygen to sell stories. Okay, we need the imagination. We need to use our initiative to be self-taught. It's important.
Right. I think that you've said in other places, and quoting other people to say the empires of the future will be the empires of the mind. Imagination sounds what it is, and in Beast of No Nation again, it starts with an imagination TV, right? That's the real resource. But imagination is actually the resource for that future is the past. Is the images we've been fed with, and you think about what then is possible.
Yeah.
So the real question is, how do we, if I'm here, I'm a young filmmaker, I'm dreaming of making a film. What really is my toolbox in terms of how do I start the dreaming process? How do I not put a lid on the possibilities? And how do I envision to tell the stories you tell?
Thank you. Look, it's about imagination, as you said, okay? You know, just because, you know, we don't see a black Superman or a black James Bond or whatever, doesn't mean we can't imagine a version of it, okay? We have that. That's the beauty of storytelling, all right? Filmmaking, as far as I'm concerned, is dream making. That's it. Filmmaking is dream making. So I think if you're at the beginning of your careers, sometimes it's good to just take something very simple and just embellish and embellish and embellish. What if? And then what if and what if and what if. If you use that as almost as a template for your storytelling, what if and what if and what if, and then what if. You embellish on something. Before you know it, your imagination's growing. I think that, you know, young filmmakers here should be thinking about sci-fi. We should be thinking about stories like animation stories as other ways of telling stories. I don't think we should put a cap on that type of creativity.
Right, thank you. We'll come to the audience, but before we do that, many of us know you as a superstar. Not many of us have come to appreciate that you left UK to US, you were a bouncer, you waited at tables, you actually hustled for about 2 years. For that period, what does it mean for character? What does it mean for giving up a career in UK that wasn't too bad to hustle in a place your accent had to change? For purposes of the person here, what is the character they must have to be the superstar? And in the moment, if they happen to be in that period, what would you tell them?
Okay, how many filmmakers here have another job that is not filmmaking? How many? What do you do, miss? In fashion, but you're a filmmaker. Anybody else? Yes, sir. And you're a filmmaker. Okay, these are really sexy other jobs, man. I'm looking. Boats.
Driving.
You drive a boat,
right?
But you're a filmmaker. Okay, so while you're driving your boats, how many stories come to your head? A lot, right? Why? Can you say why?
Your life and your own experience is the film.
Exactly.
And these are the best things you could start off making.
Exactly. Every character that I played that made me famous, including Stringer Bell, was someone I met on my day job. No doubt. No doubt. For those of you who cannot afford to go to film school or acting school, just take another job. Do 2-3 days a week, make some money for yourself. But while you're at that other job, just watch the characters. Make a movie from each one of the people that you meet. Because it is that sort of character that makes your career rise. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Before I even got to America, I worked at Ford's making cars. I did the night shift. I would clock in by 6, finish by 5:30 in the morning. That time period, most of us are sleeping. But me, I was dreaming about being an actor. I was dreaming about being a filmmaker. And it's that hardship, doing something that you don't love, to then do something that you do that propels you. To this day, I'm so thankful. Even I've been working for 25 years as an actor, but every day I'm very thankful that I'm not doing the other day job anymore. You understand? Because I get to do something that I love, and that's because I dreamt about it over and over again. So,
thank you for sharing that.
If you are in a day job, if you're dreaming about your job, if you're dreaming about becoming a filmmaker, that's okay. Just keep moving towards it. Do something every single day to head towards your dream. Every day.
Thank you. I do appreciate the superstar yet again. We'll take some questions. Okay.
My name is Nicole Amatefio. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Nicole.
For a filmmaker in Accra, if they wanted you to be in their film, what are some practical steps they need to take to make that happen?
Okay, the first answer is show me the money. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I'm joking. Nicole, listen, this happened, you and I have talked about this before. You've sent me material, okay? The truth is, it's about what is the material, how can I involve with it, all right? Practically, it's a time thing for me, okay? So now I'm filming until February. I have a window in April to maybe May. If you sent me something and it's like, oh, this is amazing, and we gelled on it, I would come. Because it really isn't about the money. At this juncture in my life, not to say I'm a billionaire, but I'm doing it, I want to make films on our continent to do what I'm doing now, which is amplify the message of filmmaking on the continent. Practically, make sure that the script is the best version of the script. Practically, show me a deck of how you would do it, as a producer partner. At this junction, I'm not an actor for hire, so you would say to me, Idris, this is the budget scale, this is how many days I would need you, and this is how we would do it, okay? Practically, make sure that you write me a covering letter to say, Idris, this is the story, and then organize to have a phone call with me if I respond to it, okay? But if I don't respond to it, please don't let me not respond. Write again and say, I'm so sorry, Mr. Elba, but you didn't respond this time. And I promise you, someone in my office, if not me, will say, okay, boom. Nicole, I've tried to respond as many times with you, we've even connected, but we're gonna make that project one day. Thank you for that question.
All right, okay.
Hi, it's me again, Majid.
How are you?
I'm fine, sir. So, I follow your work so much, everybody, and I've realized that you are also a multifaceted talent. You are very multi-talented. You sell out cinema, and then the next week you drop a banger, bossy, and then the next week you are DJing for like thousands of people, and then I keep wondering how you do it, because a lot of us, for example, myself, I'm a very multi-talented person, and sometimes it can be very challenging because the energy is pulling you, every talent is pulling you, like, oh, you need to feed your soul, you know. So I like to know how you manage to be successful in all of them. And do I have to wait until I am big enough to, satisfy all of those cravings? Or that's the question. I just want to know.
Great question, Majid. Listen, no, you don't have to wait till one of your talents gets up there. All right? If you're talented, do it all, my brother. Okay? The one thing I expect you to do is do everything you're talented with authenticity. Don't fake it. If you're authentically good at singing, write a song, put it out. Because if you're authentically good at acting, the moment people see you in the film and they put it out, you're going to be celebrated for that. But if you're equally good at painting, authentically, you buy your paint, you put your easel up, you go to an art gallery, you put it out. People don't know you. People don't have to know you're an actor. They just look at your artwork and say, this is good. So the thing about diversifying your talents is that you have to be authentic within it. As soon as you fake it, people say, this guy is trying to do too much. But the moment that they see that, he's actually really in love with this, he's in love with that, and he puts authentic time into it, do it. So there are many filmmakers here that are also directors, that are also actors, that are also cinematographers. You have to do all of it. You can't just say, I'm just going to be one. But as long as what you do is authentic. Okay, Majid?
All right, thank you. Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you, Idris.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, let me congratulate you on your new position as Okonkwo in the Achebe's Things Fall Apart. Now, the announcement of your role has generated some media buzz. Some people are saying, you don't have the original Igbo accent to act. Just like it happened when they wanted to cast you as James Bond. Many of us are defending you that, look, this is a versatile fellow who can handle any role in the world. So what's your take on this? How do you want to answer them?
Thank you for that question. It's a difficult one. The announcement was premature. That was not my announcement. If it was my announcement, I wouldn't have told you that I'm going to play any particular role. But the fact that I've been privileged enough to adapt the book for television. That's all I would have said, okay? I say that to say that, I think, those that are wondering whether I can play the role have a right to say that. Nigerians, Igbo tribe especially, might look at me and say, but this guy now, he's not, he's Ga and he's Timini from Sierra Leone, he's not Igbo. How is he going to play this? But here's the thing though, okay? This is filmmaking. This is storytelling, okay? I know there's a discussion about misappropriation. I totally appreciate that. When I played Nelson Mandela, I was very, very nervous. I'm not from Xhosa tribe, I'm Sierra Leone in Ghana. And South Africans, my sister, please, I've got to say both. But South Africans, especially the Xhosa tribe, are very, very vocal about why is this guy playing Nelson Mandela, all right? But the truth is, this is filmmaking, this is storytelling. We should all allow to tell each other's stories. We should. I think it's important, especially the continent, okay? There has been so much division put onto our continent that we didn't put ourselves. We know there are different tribes, complexions, hair quality, but we all consider ourselves Africans. And when I see an African team playing in the World Cup, it doesn't matter who they're from, I'm cheering, all right? So this is where the question of authenticity comes. If I'm going to play that coveted role in Things Fall Apart, if I'm not authentic, I shouldn't be there. If I can't play that character authentically, I shouldn't do it. But if I can, then I want my Africans to support me for that film.
Okay, we'll take a few more questions.
Yes, Idris, thank you so much. Albert Tete, and
I work with Powerboss Animation Studios, with the producers of Ghana's first ever animated feature film. Yeah. And I like the fact that you actually hinted on we telling our authentic African stories and not looking at the West, because whenever we look at the West to become the best, we become the West in ourselves, because we are not telling the stories. So, in this way...
Say that one more time, bro. Say that one more time. Say it loud, say it loud.
So, when we keep looking to the West to become the best, we end up as the worst, because we are not telling the authentic stories. So, just as you said it, I would like to also put it to you to call on your African brothers and sisters to also help us in pushing more of our African narrative, especially how animation is not really appreciated in the African space, so that when we always look and it comes to comparing to the West, it will only be comparison to complete and not comparison to compete. So that's
We should write that word.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. And I think, listen, if I was at home and I was watching John Boyega or any one of the actors here, I'll be looking saying, I should have gone. That's why I'm here. Because we've got to see each other doing it. All right? I'm hoping that my brothers and sisters across the pond, my brothers and sisters in Nigeria, in Tanzania, that the best actors, the best directors, they say, what? That's Cinema Summit. I'm going to go this year. 100%. To your point, that's how we perpetuate that. So thank you.
I don't have so much of a question to you. It's more a confirmation of what you said. There are so many filmmakers in this room today, but when a filmmaker in Ghana makes a movie, none of you shows up to support him. And that has to change. Secondly, Mr. Elba just said that he played a role as an equal, while he is not. Ask yourself, especially Ghanaian actors, how is he able to do that? It's because he does research on his role. You have to do that as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you for saying that. And can we take 2 more questions?
So my name is Albert. I run a small company that puts together community cinemas for people in the rural areas. I just want to get your take on something. How can we get funding for communities that can afford to buy movie tickets? Because we do a lot of communities that can't afford it, but we also can't keep up putting these events together all the time because it's a big toll on us as well.
He has a booth, and I went to his booth. Outside he has essentially what you can describe as mobile cinema solution. It's a screen, it blows up, and the projection hits the screen, okay? To your point, that should be a scalable model, okay? It needs to be a scalable model. First of all, I'm going to say this. You are doing it by being here, renting a booth, and selling your idea. That is a business case study, okay? I think what you need to now figure out is what the business plan is, the actual financials in 100% details, and find that business plan to circulate amongst this particular room. I know there, including myself, by the way, there are people that want to invest in solutions like that, because putting cinemas in rural areas is incredibly important, okay? It's not a money-making scheme. It's not a cents and dollars thing. It is, as Juliet said earlier, the experience of cinema, and that is important. It's what the Americans call the water cooler moment. The water cooler moment is when they go and get a drink after they're working, they talk about what they saw last night. That communication is the lifeblood of that operation, the water cooler moment. So to your point, sir, build a good business case. Like today when you saw me or you saw Moses is here, rather than give us a card, show us how the economics can work for someone like us. There are cinema distributors here. Find them, partner with them, create a dialogue, but make sure that you've built a business case that makes money. It's not about money, but make sure you make a business case to raise the funds, all right? I think what you're doing is important.
All right, last.
Young lady here.
Oh, I tell you, this has been a wonderful time. I'm having a great time. I am the founder of the Black Our Story Festival because 3 years ago I realized we into Black His Story. I'm not into his story. I don't want to hear what other races got to say about me because their narrative is incorrect. And you can know that because we got a criminal running for president. I'm so sorry. I went there. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And of course, that narrative has been all over. People are starting to wonder about their pets and stuff. We got to stop all of that and tell our story. We got lazy. We were waiting for BBC and CNN to tell our story. We have our own story, and we can tell it on our own networks, in our own way, in our own perspective. We can talk about each other, get to that place. You know, when we're in the cinema in America, Black folk, we make noise. It's like we become a part of the movie. I like the way you tell us that we need to tell our story. That's the comment. It's not a question. It's just, thank you so much for coming here and saying that. That's what that is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for saying that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It looks, as you can see, there are so many hands, but not enough time to do that.
One more question. One more question here. Come on the stage, student. Come on the stage. Come on the stage. Quick. Yeah.
Thank you very much. My name is Titus Osudako from the University of Media, Arts and Communication. We the mentees look up to you, the mentors. Emotionally, psychologically, financially, what are some of the challenges and difficulties you faced throughout your journey, and how did you overcome those challenges? Thank you.
Thank you, Titus. Did Moses send you? Because it's the last question, it's difficult. Did you send me, Moses? Okay, just quickly. As an actor, when I was starting out, I was one of 5 actors, black actors, in my arena in the UK, one of 5. I was also the darkest skinned. I wasn't favored because of my skin color, okay? But what I did is refuse to play into stereotypes. It meant that I didn't work for a long time because I wouldn't play certain roles just because they wanted to cast me as this and that as it relates to a stereotype. So that was something that I emotionally overcome, is that I'm not going to be playing a stereotype, okay? I've never played a slave, I will never play a slave. Financially, I was broke for a long time. I don't value money like that. I value life, inspiration, and opportunity, okay? This is show business, however, so it is important that you make money, but it is not my driver. As soon as that becomes your driver, you make mistakes and it's not sustainable. Just remind me, the last one, what was that? Psychologically, okay. If I'm honest, my mom is Ghanaian, my dad is Sierra Leonean. The Ghanaian women know. My mom is the strongest woman in the world. My mom psychologically prepared me for everything I went through. All right? By making me believe in myself, believing that whatever I go through, that love will always overcome, always. So thank you.
All right, thank you. So we're summing up, and then we'll do the presentations. We'll yield over to the convener. Please do appreciate her as she hands over some artwork.
Please make some noise for y'all. Fantastic job, man.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Wow. Please give it up. Give it up. And whilst we are giving it up, I want my nephew to walk here because he needs to take that picture with you. So my nephew, I want him to come on stage. But at the same time, I want to drop something that will make you go crazy. He actually, Mr. Elba actually bought his own ticket to come here. Yeah, he wanted to support this so much that he got his own ticket. He said, I want to support the summit. I want to show up. I want to mentor. And whatever you have that can buy me a ticket, use it to support the summit. I needed to say that. I say this to honor you, and I say this to say we really appreciate you. And I think that we always say, put your money where your mouth is. And you could have said, you know, I'm a superstar, do this, I won't show up if you don't do this, put this in my room, do that. You didn't do any of that. And so you have showed and demonstrated your support for African cinema, and we are grateful. I want to call on the Honorable Minister to please come on stage. But first, my nephew has to take this picture with you. He will take it with the minister and you. I mean, it's like, wow. Yeah.
This is Michael. Make some noise.
Make some noise for Michael. Michael Yawasante. This is the power of imagery. Look at this and see every little boy child and girl child in Michael looking at the tattoo, feeling it. And I've called the Honorable Minister to the platform. We have, I'm going to call on amazing supporters of this event that also wanted to show gratitude and acknowledgement. And you all know Madam Padiki, who is an artist who actually went for the Guinness record, right? So please give it up for Padiki, who is an artist. Honorable Minister, if you can, with Madam Padiki, present this. She drew this herself. You want to tell us a little about it?
Yeah, I'm so honored to be here. And I've been working on this for some weeks now. I didn't really have anybody in mind. But when I went on our tourism platform and I realized you were dropping down here, I said, wow, I think that's the owner of this painting, because you deserve to have this with almost all our important icons in Ghana, which will really bring your identity out. Thank you very much for your take.
Thank you so much. I love this. Thank you. Thank you.
The next one, Her Excellency Dr. Erica Bennett, who represents the diaspora community and our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, and has far-reaching impact on the continent, is also here to make a presentation.
Good afternoon. Please sit down. The elder is in the house. The OG is in the house. This presentation is extremely special. I am Ambassador Dr. Erica Bennett, Head of Mission for the Diaspora Africa Forum. We are the only diplomatic mission of its kind in the world. The heads of states understand now to move Africa forward, we've got to include the diaspora. There's two types of diasporas. My group, taken from slavery, we're considered the historical diaspora. Your group, Dr. Elba. You're Elba. I can call him whatever I want to call him because he's my friend. Thank you. He is exactly what the Africa Union wants to see. They want to see the diaspora come and support Africa. This award today is extremely important. This is an award that we've only given to heads of states. This is an award that we've given to Lou Gossett. This is an award that we gave to Stevie Wonder. This is an award that we've given to the two female heads of states. This is a very, very, very important, prestigious award. Now, we're not giving you this award because you do look good. We're not giving you this award because of all the wonderful things that you do as an actor and an entrepreneur. We're giving you this award because of your humility. You see, we deal with celebrities and very, very important people all over the world. But I met you on an airplane. And on that airplane, if I didn't know who he was, I wouldn't have known who he was. I said to him, "My name is Ambassador Dr. Erica Bennett." He said, "Oh, very nice meeting you." I gave him my card, and as life would have it, he now has one of my daughters working for you, Katra. Yeah, Katra is my daughter. I love her. And then you have really, really, you hire dynamic women, you see. So I just want to salute you. Stand up. Let's give her a big round of applause. And before we give this award, I want you to come over here. Let's give her a standing ovation. Come on now, stand up. You don't know what she has had to go through to do this. This was truly a labor of love. And we applaud you, and we thank you, and we're there to partner with you. So you and DAF, we're one now. Getting back to this award, I want you to come over here. Honorable Minister, how are you? Well. I want you to come over here by me. All you ladies, I know y'all are just jealous because I'm sitting up here hugging the hawk. I know that. But this award, as I said, all the things that you've said is so true. I've enjoyed this. Y'all can sit down. Sit down. See, when you get to be 74, you can say what you want to, however you want to. You see, one of the things, as I said, his humility, his kindness, and the things that he's doing around the world. You don't even know all the things that he's doing. So this award is presented to you for all the work that you do, all the work you're going to continue to do, and we just salute you. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
I let her talk sometimes.
It's my sister, so this is the Diaspora Africa Forum Bridge Builders Award, and it's given to those human beings who have bridged the odds of bringing Africans, African Americans, and Africans around the diaspora together, and you have done that, and especially with your New York accent.
Now, don't get confused by this American accent. I have been in Ghana for 22 years, and I am proudly Ghanaian.
Okay.
So we'd like you just to say a few words. And for you, Miss Producer, I got a story. You need to, I'm going to send you a script. And I know you're going to want to do this story. I know you will. And we salute you. We want more women doing exactly what they're doing. So we salute what you're doing, and we appreciate it very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Look, I just really want to thank you, Ambassador Erica, also Tony, your sister, for this award. It's very special. I want to thank all of you for being here to see me accept this award, and I'm hoping that this moment inspires all of us to make better stories, to tell better stories, to be as human as we can on that endeavor. Okay, it's not always about awards, but to accept this amongst my peers in my country is a really big deal. And I thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let's give it up for
All right, let's
Ambassador,
give it up. They have to
Ambassador Erica Bennett.
Let's take a picture.